Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Calhoun's. And when you are eating at any of their 9 area locations, you are getting fresh food. Why is it fresh? Because whenever possible, Calhoun's deals with local farmers, local produce. They want to support the local economy. They bring you good, fresh, local food, and you keep coming back because it's tasty. It's a taste of Tennessee. Calhoun's. Follow them online. Follow them social media, Twitter right there, at Calhoun's. All right. I want to welcome in the next 2 members of our panel down there. Mike Strange, back. Good to have you back. And Chuck Cavaleris down there, Mr. Pickham.
Mr. Pickham. Chucky C-Note.
I'll start with you two down there. For weeks, we've been saying there's no rush. And I think that's true. I don't think there was a rush. We talked to yourself, Josh, and Ryan Callahan, recruiting guys who follow recruiting. Is an interim going to save the recruiting class? No. Are you going to be able to hire a coach now? No. So what is the reason to do it at that point? You've let it play out now.
Yes.
You let it play out for South Carolina, didn't get the job done. Alabama, obviously. You let it play out for Kentucky, didn't get the job done. Now there's no coach in the world. If you talk to anyone, you're going to be able to say, we gave Butch Jones every possible chance. So my question is, why are we still going into the Southern Miss game, according to Jimmy and his sources? Why are we still going into the Southern Miss game with no announcement? Thoughts? As Mike quickly turns to Chuck.
I don't know because
good to have you back, Mike. I'm not answering that.
I mean, aren't you just prolonging the inevitable? I mean, to me, I think it behooves John Currie to come out and say, here's the situation and here's what we're going to do. I mean, if everything points to you're going to make a change after the homecoming game Saturday night, and that will be Butch Jones' last game as head coach.
We don't know that.
But I think that's what they're going. I mean, isn't that what everything pointing to? I mean, is it?
To me, it's starting to point toward they're going to let him coach the year, and at the end, after the Vanderbilt game, they might announce it.
But there's a board of trustees meeting, and so what is it, Thursday? Are you waiting to make sure everybody knows what's going on? But I think you make an announcement and say one way or the other, here's what we're going to do.
Mike Strange, why is this not done yet?
Well,
and by yet, I mean, why is this not done today?
Well, you look at Tennessee's history of firing coaches. When they fired Johnny Majors, it was maybe the second week in November, something like that. Philip Fulmer was, November 9th or 10th, something like that. So I don't have a good answer. I'm tap dancing here. But even Derek Dooley, they didn't fire him until, after the Vanderbilt loss?
He had 1 game left.
Yeah,
He had one game left. So I just I don't know what's to really be gained a whole lot. I don't know a whole lot to be gained by doing it here on October 30th.
Well, you gave him every chance, and he failed to. You gave him an 8-4 opportunity and out. Missed that too. So to me, it's like if you know he's gone, why not just announce it? Jimmy, your thoughts?
I've talked to several coaches about that I've trusted in this profession, and they wouldn't be in favor of it from this perspective. They say when you do that, the players check out. They're not going to play that hard. You're going to have players that are not going to go to the weight room. They're going to start balking on going to class because they don't have really somebody to tell them they have to go. I remember toward the Dooley situation, there were 30 players that were on academic probation. And of those 30, 21 of them were scholarship and about 10 of them were starters. So Butch Jones comes in and inherits an academic mess in regard to that. So that's one of the reasons one coach said you don't want to do it because your player's going to check out on you. So whether you think that's a great reason or not, that's what a couple of coaches tell me.
To support what Jimmy said, I heard Daniel Hood say on the radio this week, he was there that year they fired, I guess, Dooley with the one game left to set play, and he said even that one game was a joke. The players took it like they won.
And didn't they not go into the weight room for about 6 weeks?
Yeah, and it just said, but he said even that one game was the players. It was
Well, if you had that many kids on academic probation, they're not doing a real good job going to class anyway.
Well, no, they got on academic probation.
But I mean, they're already headed that way.
Yeah. Now, my view would be, I would think you could put pressure on these kids. You're on scholarship. Go to class or scholarship goes away. You know, that seems like a very
don't you think
easy deal to me, but apparently not.
Don't you think the Tennessee fan base deserves an explanation of what's going on here?
I think I'll put it this way. I think the fan base is getting more and more ticked off. I think more and more people are joining the ticked off portion of the fan base. Now, there were some groups that wanted Butch Jones fired in year one.
Yeah.
I told you from the beginning, you stunk. Okay, well, great. You roll the dice, and he's stinking right now. But in terms of overall, I just wonder what's your crowd going to be like for this homecoming game at Southern Miss. That's why I thought this would come down. After the Georgia game, I said October 31st. I don't see them last. I think you're going to continue to lose. I think the crowd will disappear. I think they'll have to make a move. Maybe they don't care about selling the dadgum popcorn the last 3 home games of the year, but watching that game on television last night, how many Tennessee fans did you see in the stands? I didn't see many. I talked to a buddy of mine up there. I said, how many Vol fans did you see? I don't know, 500 or 1,000? That had to be low.
Really?
That had to be low, but I didn't see a section of Tennessee fans. I saw them dotting. I think that's a signal.
Is it possible that Curry's waiting to see what the attendance is against Southern Miss before he comes public? I mean, I think I know what he's going to do, all right?
Right.
I think we
all know what's going to happen.
I think
pretty
you ought to
good
have a
idea.
pretty good idea of what the
Yeah, and
attendance
that's
is.
why I think they're
Southern
surprised
Miss
right now, because the thought was once Tennessee's returning home, if Tennessee is lost out in the month of October, that makes the decision easier, because I think we can all sit here and come up with a unanimous idea of what the attendance will be like or the support level will be like for Butch Jones next week.
We'll do that later in the show. Let me throw you this out very quickly, and I'll just start with Josh. It was reported yesterday that Florida is now exploring whether or not it can get rid of Jim McElwain with cause because, and here's the thing, I don't think they get rid of him if they've got to pay $13 million. I think they look at it and hold their nose and keep him. But when he went out and lied about getting death threats and then had to walk it back middle of the week, I was talking about something long ago. Okay, now if they whack him, and you're John Curry, does that force your hand? Does that speed you up? How much are you paying attention to Florida?
I don't think you are, because I would guess that Florida waits a little bit as well, but I think you're going to have a lot of jobs out there. So you're paying attention maybe to the entire SEC, what's going on out on the West Coast. So I don't think you can worry just about Florida, because unlike last year, you might have a pretty big market to pay attention to overall.
Jimmy, let's put it this way. Would you be surprised to learn that there are calls being made that have, do you think they've done any kind of due diligence over there in the athletic department, even as they allowed Butch to coach on?
Yes.
Yeah,
I do, and I think you can go back channels on that, some of that, and I think that's probably happened. Look, there may be 5 jobs open in the SEC. How about Ole Miss, Arkansas, and A&M?
And let's see how
Possibly.
Auburn finishes.
Yeah, that's true. So I think there's a potential for that. And then if you've got that many jobs open, you are going to be delving into the same coaching pool trying to find somebody, right?
Yeah.
That's just too many jobs in the South. So I would think that if Tennessee sees that, they might expedite the public announcement.
And coaches and their agents will know that as well.
That's right.
And the thing with the back channel, I mean, people are like, well, you're going to fall behind Florida. Again, would not be shocked to learn that they have been making communications. Someone representing UT might have called Coach X and said, hey,
Right.
would you know, or called the agent for Coach X and said, if this happened, would you be interested?
So Jimmy Sexton's getting a lot of calls.
Yeah, so I don't think that, well, that'd be a tough one with Sexton since he's also representing Jones right now. I know they may be calling other agents. I think Chip Kelly's is David Dunn. Just seed the clouds there. All right, when we come back, when a search begins, who will be in charge? Who will be taking part? Things that UT have changed after the AD hire. Are the same names going to be in control? Come on back.